You okay?
All right, if you can, Vivienne, bring down the volume on your computer or your phone, all the way down. There you go. Thank you.
Find a peaceful setting and close your eyes.
All right, also for you, Callie, bring down the volume on your computer or your phone. Thank you.
Now, feel that love entering your body and emanating out from your chest. Take a deep breath in and remember what the energy did to the universe. Only comes
All right, as one by one friends are stalked by a killer, they discover that this has happened before, and they return to survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997 for help. Welcome to the week-ending July 20th edition of Silver Screen Previews all across all platforms. We welcome you back to the show. Hello, I'm Rob Martin. There we go. On the bottom left, let's go to, oh, there she is. Vivienne Golde. Hello, Vivienne. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you? How is everyone? Hope everyone's doing well and enjoying their summer.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I Know What You Did Last Summer, or as it could be called, I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I Don't Care. Or an alternative would just be, I Don't Care What You Did Last Summer. So, yeah, for me, this was a lifeless and unnecessary reboot. It was really lacking in suspense and scares, and obviously also in originality, because it was just rehashing the plot of the original movie. But the characters here in this one were much more bland and uninteresting, just full of cliches. It felt more like they were archetypes rather than actual people. So, you know, it was hard to care about what happens to them. This movie really tries to rely heavily on nostalgia from the original, but as one character in the movie actually says very appropriately, the line is, nostalgia is overrated. So that's how I felt. So, like, they were really leaning heavily on this nostalgia, but it didn't work. You know, the attempts to modernize this film felt forced, and just like they were trying too hard with that, you know, trying too hard to be relevant and to reach like a Gen Z audience. The pacing was too slow, and I felt very strongly that 20 minutes could have very easily just been cut out, bringing the film from 1 hour and 50 minutes, which is the actual runtime, bringing it down to 1 hour and 30 minutes. I felt that that would have been better if it was an hour and 30 minutes. The film, it just felt like it was just dragging in terms of the pacing, and that really killed any suspense and tension. The killer felt really generic and not really menacing. Like in the original, it was more like it felt more iconic and more threatening, but here it wasn't like that. And the reveal at the end felt very contrived and didn't really make sense to me. So this is a thumbs down for me.
Thumbs down from Vivienne Golde on I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2025 version, which is, of course, rated R. Now, this film has, let's see, Madeline Klein, Chase Suey Wonders, Sarah Pigeon, along with the legacy characters and, I guess, actors of Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt. This is directed by Jennifer Caton Robinson. And let's take a look at the box office figures, because I want to check it out. I want to see what's going on, because, you know, people say, oh, is it number one at the box office? No, it is not. Superman stays at the top of the box office with $57.3 million, followed by Jurassic World Rebirth at $23.4 million. And I Know What You Did Last Summer comes in at $13 million, which for a horror film is not bad considering it is almost August. And, it's kind of like almost the graveyard of the Hollywood film season. All right. But that's the stats. Let's go now to the bottom right. And Callie Cox, how are you and what you've been up to? How's everything with you?
Everything is great. Happy that it's summer. Could do with a little less humidity, but you know what? I won't complain too much. But speaking of summer, let's get right into it. Vivienne, we're gonna fight tonight. I'm just kidding. But I don't disagree with everything you said, but I actually really enjoyed watching this movie. The thing I agreed with you the most about is the pacing. I do agree that there was definitely some stuff in the middle that could have like been taken out to make it like a little cleaner, which I actually, it started off and they got into the action a little bit faster than comparing it to the original one. And I was excited. I thought it was going to be paced and then it slowed down a little bit in the middle. And I was like, okay, we don't have to do all this. But honestly, this is sort of my ideal summer movie as a horror fan, because in the summertime, you want something like campy, you want something like a little bit more lighthearted, but I still want to see a horror film. So this was really fun for me. To me, I felt like there were a lot of nods to the original, but I didn't feel like it was an exact copy. I think a lot of that is because they did try to bring it into the modern age. And there were definitely things about them trying to bring it into the modern age that I was like, we didn't have to, we could have like cherry picked a little more, maybe like we could have like leaned heavily on one trope versus the other, but I don't know, I didn't really, I don't know, I was sort of like, am I just being crotchety about that? Am I just like stuck in my millennial ways? Like that might be a little bit of, so I tried to let that go a little bit. I thought the performances were good for what they were given. I kind of liked the friend group together, and I'm looking at my notes. I literally wrote down, shout out to whatever gay person was sound mixing, because the soundtrack parts of it, the score is really nice too, but the soundtrack parts of it, I was like, I see you. I know what's happening, which I really enjoyed. Definitely could predict what was going to happen. I definitely guessed one of the twists. I definitely knew from like partway through the movie, like what I thought was going to happen, and I was right, but it didn't bother me. And then the one at the very end, I didn't hate it. It mostly, I didn't hate it because I didn't think that's where we were going, and so I was happy to be surprised. But I would definitely not call this a cinematic masterpiece. I would throw this into the category of like a fun group movie night watch. So I think definitely if you like the other movies in the franchise, I would not skip this one. I would still go see it. So I'm giving this one a thumbs up.
A thumbs up from Callie Cox on I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2025 version. Boy, I have to really think, when they tried up for the concept for this film, what were they thinking? It's kind of hard to rehash a series unless it's Scream. Now, Scream succeeded. Why? Because you have Ortega. You have Melissa Barrera, and they came through. Their acting comes through. Here, unfortunately, you don't have a strong cast. You have a cast of unknowns, and you have the legacy characters, played by Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's not enough. The killer in itself leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that. But, yeah, I mean, it's just like there needed to be more here. The gory kills were good, but they needed to be more. There needed to be something more in the mystery of the killer. I could have figured, you figured it out earlier. As soon as when the 45-minute mark came across, I could sense, okay, he's the killer. Ha, ha, ha. And I know this is nothing to be given away. I'm not like, well, it could be the sheriff. Oh, it could be this, could be that. But you figure it out. By minute 45, what's going on here? And that's half the story. It's really uninspirable. Jennifer Love Hewitt is serviceable here. But I think they cut her short. And, it drags too long. You could have had, chopped off, like you guys were saying, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, tops. And, let's go back to the premise of the movie at the beginning. how the hell is it logical that these teens are going to drag that vehicle back off from the cliff? It's just, and it's like, okay, they were trying to save them, but they couldn't do it because they're not physically that strong. Okay, they can't do it.
Right.
So, I mean, there's no logic in that. Like, okay, well, it's like they tried, but it fell off, and they fell off into the cliff. And now what? They're supposed to pay for it because they were supposed to like summon some kind of inhuman, powerful physical strength in order to pull that thing out.
Well, not to be this person, to like push my glasses up and get technical, but that isn't the concern. The concern isn't necessarily that they couldn't save them. The concern is that legally, yes, they would be liable because they were in the road. So,
oh
like,
God!
Yeah, so like it is, and which is the same as the first one too, kind of. But yeah, that's the thing. Is like them not being able to physically save him is not necessarily the problem.
You see, what I would have done is
because they didn't go to the police, right? Because they didn't go to the police, so they just kept it a secret.
Right.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Makes no sense. And it really is terrible. It's sad because what I would have done is I would have had one of the guys, or maybe two of them, like become like really evil. Like, no, screw that. We're not, let them go. Like that. That way you have a reason to hate them and to actually justify the killer coming back and coming after them. Because then you would see that there is, no remorse. And when there is no more remorse in trying to save, people from a vehicle or that in that kind of situation, then it's like, you know what? Oh, you know what? They deserve what's coming to them. This is where they have to. They're gonna have to die, and the killer has some kind of fuel coming out. To this whole situation.
I think is that not kind of the point? Is that it's not necessarily motivated by logic. The killer is not necessarily. I feel like that's the point of a lot of these franchises. Is they are not necessarily. You're motivated by emotion, not logic.
Well, remember the Scream situation was, they brought back people from the past, in order to fuel that situation. But still, I mean, it's like they're trying to. They're digging at straws here. They're digging it. They're trying to unearth, like Jason from the dead, and revive him through an electric lightning bolt. That is, they're trying to revive these franchises, and they're trying so damn hard. But yeah, look, I just think that there wasn't enough here. The director really needed to add more legacy characters here. Obviously, you couldn't back Sarah Michelle Gellar, but bring back some other people that survived the first two films. That could have been something there. But just once again, weak acting from an unknown cast. Now, yeah, they could have chosen a better cast than this because I was just not enthralled. I was not into these new characters, these new actors, and their characters. Not at all. It's just annoying. I mean, come on, bring me something better. But still,
yeah, they were very bland. It was like they cast these people who were like all like very good looking and pretty and handsome and everything.
What? I want ugly people. Come on.
They couldn't really act that well. But also, I mean, to be fair, they weren't given that much to work with in terms of their characters. So
that's right.
I don't know that it was really their fault.
Yeah, I would chalk it up more to a script character development issue more so than like because like you can be the best actor in the world. We've seen it in other films. Like you can be the best actor in the world and you can be handed a not fully fleshed out script. And there's just almost nothing you can do about it at a certain point, So that's what I
exactly.
Yeah.
Not exactly. Once again. All right. So we have. Let's see. Callie gives it a thumbs up. Vivienne gives it a thumbs down. I also give it a thumbs down for I Know What You Did Last Summer. And of course, will there be another one? Questions.
For sure.
For sure. $13 million at the box
office? I think so, yeah. I think there's going to be another.
They kind of set themselves up for that option.
Yeah.
At the end, twice, they set themselves up for that. And
yeah, we shall see.
I'd be shocked if we don't get something else.
All right. Well, we'll see, folks. I mean, what do you guys think? Is there going to be another? I know what you did last summer. Part 4 now. It was part 3. Part 4.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Part 4, because technically the third movie is not really like part of the original franchise, because there's that 2006 remake where the 2006 to 2009 era where they said, let's take every horror franchise and remake it really badly.
Yeah, it's like Halloween all over again from 2018.
No, I was thinking of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Oh my God! Please.
It's like those. When I watch the third one, I'm like, it's literally like those. It's like we don't talk about them. It's not a part of this. Like,
oh my God! Yeah, even Carpenter hated those damn movies. I was like, what an asshole! This guy filmed a piece of shit.
Oh, I could hate on those for a long time. Anyway.
All right, let's move on. The next film tonight on Silver Screen Previews is Eddington. So in Eddington, let me get my notes out. There we go. In May of 2020, during COVID, a standoff between a small-town sheriff and mayor sparks a powder keg as neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico. This is with Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Luke Grimes, Deidre O'Connell, Austin Butler, and Emma Stone. I believe here's a scene from Eddington, out in a wide release right here on Silver Screen Previews. Directed by Ari Aster.
No. We just talking, just the two of us. We are. Okay. So maybe I just talk to your video. Ask where all your deputies. Okay. Well, why not just ask your governor about her little catch and release policy, okay? Because if it wasn't for that, maybe I could hold on to my deputies and people we arrest. I know one of them was fired for excessive force, and another one was forced to quit by a neutral First Amendment auditor. Okay, yes, that is the same auditor that took away your work. From the handling thing. Your captain and your chief deputy for the job in the Rio Ranch. I was devastated. Keep your own office going, but you're going to run mine. Leave your mess here and start a whole new one. Is it worth it to combat a virus that isn't even here? The cost of being at war with your neighbors and your family? Because that's what community is, isn't it? It's a family. Okay? Because you can ruin a man's day, or you can do the right thing. You can be kind. You can free his heart. We need free each other's hearts. And that's why I'm running for mayor.
All right, so that's Eddington out in wide release. All right, let's go down to the bottom left. And Vivienne Golde, what do you think about Eddington?
I thought that this was a well-done, well-made, satirical, modern Western film, and I appreciated the originality because I don't know that I've ever seen a film like this kind of modern Western, like, period piece, you know. That was very interesting in and of itself, and Joaquin Phoenix was really great. He delivered a very strong and compelling performance as Sheriff Joe Cross, and I mean the whole cast was really great. Of course, like, you know, Emma Stone, Pedro Pascal, Austin Butler. Everyone was great. So yeah, I felt that the surreal feel of the film captured how surreal life felt, like, actually, for those of us experiencing that time, you know, during the early days of the COVID pandemic. It was like a surreal feel, I think, like, collectively. So I think that the film did a good job capturing that surrealness, if that's a word. Yeah, I liked how the film cut deep into all of the chaos from that time with dark humor and sharp satire and social commentary. It really felt like all sides and all stances on all of these various issues from that time were being critiqued. So I think that no matter what your own stance on the issues of that time was, you could still get something out of the film. And enjoy it. And, it was thought provoking. So,
Right.
yeah, I also felt that the unevenness with the tone, because it's it starts off with its tone in one way, and then by the end, it almost feels like a different movie. So I felt that that was actually intentional because it reflected how life during this time was full of instability and collective anxiety. And it's it started out one way, right, when everything started with the COVID pandemic, and then things really escalated in a lot of ways, especially this takes place during May into June of 2020. So there were a lot of events, as you could see if you see in the film. It covers all of that chaos. So I thought that the cinematography was really noteworthy and visually striking, and the physical landscape of the town of Eddington, New Mexico felt like a character with, the bright sun beaming down. Like I could feel it somehow, with the way that the cinematography was. Like it felt like the hot sun, and everything looked bright because it's the desert, so I could feel it with the sun beaming down over the stark desert. And ultimately, I thought that this was a bold film that left me thinking about it after I left the movie theater. And that, in and of itself, is quite rare these days for a film to do that and to be so thought-provoking. So I definitely feel that this could be a divisive and controversial film, but at the same time, it's thought-provoking and interesting and really well executed as a film, really good filmmaking. So it's a thumbs up for me.
All right, so thumbs up from Vivienne Golde on Eddington, which is out in wide release. And check your local listings for showtimes in your area. Callie Cox, what did you think?
There is nothing that I like more than a film, I mean this so genuinely, than a film where I think everyone sucks. Not the acting, I mean the characters. No one, there are so, everyone, no one is just good in this movie. No one is just really just bad. Well, okay, that depends on your point of view. But I thought there were some people that I thought were irredeemable. But across the board, everyone is extremely flawed, and I love that. And that is one thing I feel like you can always count on from an Ari Aster movie, is you're not really gonna like anyone, and I think that's great.
Right.
But I agreed with a lot of the stuff you said, Vivienne. I also wrote down this. I thought the cinematography was extremely well done. There's a point, it's midway through Act 2, where there is a really sudden shift in the way things were being shot, and I was like, oh yeah, this is an Ari Aster film. That's right. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. You're talking about it being a modern Western, kind of being something new. And I was watching an interview with Ari Aster. He wrote this movie years before 2020 and then sat on it for a long time because he just couldn't. He was like, it's a modern Western, but it needs something. And then went back to it when he was in I think he said it was when he was in post-production for Beau is Afraid. And so that was after all of these events had happened. And he was like, if we set it in this context, that's the extra thing. And I agree. I think that the idea of a modern Western is interesting in and of itself, but I do think putting it in this context is what makes the film what it is, and what makes it as impactful as what it is putting these characters in this really turbulent time in the world. I'm always going to be the person that brings up the score and the soundtrack, and I thought the score was really well done, and also was a character in and of itself, to really did a lot, especially to guide you through these sort of tone shifts that happen throughout the film. That was always sort of your clue, which is what a good score should do. So that was awesome. And I thought that the performances were all really great. Obviously the big names in this movie all did a great job. I fully missed the fact that Austin Butler was in this movie until I was watching it, and I was like, is that Austin Butler? And had to Google it. So funny. Yeah. But I really appreciated the younger cast in this film. There was Matt, I'm reading names if you see me looking off to the side, but Matt Gomez Hidaka, I think is how you say it, but he played the mayor's son, and I thought he did a really nice job. And then the other two younger ones, Cameron Mann and Amelie Hofer, who played his I guess I'll call them his friends for lack of lack of better term.
Right.
But they also were really great. And Michael Ward, who played one of the deputies, was probably gave my favorite performance in the whole film.
Right.
I think he was really excellent too. But everyone across the board was great. I found it really hard to sit through. I would say, but I think that's a good thing, and I think that's kind of the point. So anyway, all that being said, I would definitely recommend go see this, especially if you want to get pissed off. So thumbs up from me.
All right, so thumbs up from Callie Cox on Eddington. You know, I'm not really a fan of Ari Aster's films, except for this one. This was the turning point for me in his filmography, because it goes back, of course, to the face diaper days where we were all, I guess, forced in one way or another to put these things on. When I started questioning it, was at the very beginning when, you know, I said to myself, well, okay, that's fine, but when I take the mask off, does the virus take a timeout and then says, you know what, Rob, yes, you can go eat, and the virus will behave and will not infiltrate everybody else. You just eat peacefully your food, and then when you're done, put the mask back on, and then we'll be okay. So that to me did not work at all. As you could probably imagine, I didn't, you know, I hate rules, and I hate all these kind of things. So I was a big no from the beginning, so I just, you know, had to make do with what I had and figure things out. But, yeah, this is clearly, I thought, his best film. It really tracks the subject and the time period very well. It casts Joaquin Phoenix in this role that I think you could pretty much maybe kind of give it like a Sylvester Stallone kind of performance in Copland, you know, a De Niro type character, you know, but clearly he is here in this movie as the antithesis. Pedro Pascal is the conformist, you know, yes, because he's the mayor, and we're supposed to follow the rules, and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, the other guy, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, is the sheriff. I think the story here is woven very well between the satire, comedy, and drama. To you know, because you think about it also, there was so much anxiety during that time, paranoia, fear everywhere. You know, the George Floyd thing. And, you know, Aster shows the truth, and he doesn't care what people think. He shows you what was going on. He puts you into that situation again. No matter how bad we don't want to go back into it, he gives it to us. And, yeah, it's over 2 hours, but it's worth it. It's worth it because it'll make you upset. Or it'll make you say, like, hey, you know what? He's making great points here because people really did act that way. The character of Joe Cross is fantastic. And Emma Stone really does well here in her role as Louise. Can't complain at all. There's a really fantastic Tarantino-style ending to this film, which I thought, well, you know what, that makes sense. But yeah, go check it out for yourself. It's called, what's it called? Eddington. This thing is slowing me. Going to have an update. We're not going to do that. But anyways, yeah, there you go. Eddington, which is out in a wide release, rated R. For your viewing pleasure, and I give it a thumbs up. Very good. So we have thumbs ups across the board for Eddington. All right, very good. All right, so let's do a quick recap of this week's films on Silver Screen Previews. First, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Vivienne.
So I just felt that this film was unnecessary. They did not need to do this reboot of the original I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
There was nothing original about it. There wasn't also just like there wasn't anything scary because it's supposed to be a horror, obviously a slasher horror, and
Yes.
the killer wasn't menacing. Yeah, I was just never scared or on the edge of my seat with this film as one should be with this kind of film.
Right.
It was relying too much on the nostalgia of the original from the 90s. And yeah, I didn't like the reveal at the end. And yeah, it was just not, yeah, it was trying hard to appeal to the new like Gen Z audience, but
right.
I don't know that succeeded in doing so. But yeah, so just a thumbs down for me.
Very good. Thumbs down from Vivienne. Callie Cox.
Well, I was the odd one out on this one because I had a lot of fun with this movie. I think if you're a horror fan and you want something that's like more of a fun summer movie, I actually think this is kind of perfect for that. Which is how I sort of watched it. I thought the actors did a good job with what they had. I do agree that the pacing, there was about like probably 15, 20 minutes worth of extra stuff that definitely could have been trimmed down. So that is a fair critique, I think. But I honestly, I had a great time watching it. I would not call it a cinematic masterpiece or anything like that. It's not going to be nominated for awards during award season or anything, but I thought it was a fun group movie night watch, and I think if you like the rest of the franchise, I think you should see it. I have a controversial opinion that it's actually my second favorite movie in the franchise, so this was a thumbs up from me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the second movie in the franchise. It's fine, but
there you go. All right, so thumbs up from Callie Cox on I Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2025 version. From yours truly, I thought this was another case of rehashing a story that has run its course into the ground. Uninspiring and, I guess, forgettable new cast of young actors, which nobody noticed, I guess, for the most part. And the killer, you could pretty much figure this out at minute 45. So if you're keeping track on the movie when you're watching it. Yeah, Rob was right. I figured it out. Okay, gotcha. Then I save yourself another 45 minutes by watching this movie, if you don't like it to that point. All right, but anyways, I gave it a thumbs down. So, very good. So, 2 thumbs downs, and Callie is the only thumbs up there. All right. And the second and final film tonight on Silver Screen Previews, Eddington. Vivienne, go ahead.
So this was a well-executed satirical modern Western film taking place during the chaos of 2020, and it gave me like PTSD, 2020 PTSD watching it, but like that was good, you know what I mean? Because that means the film succeeded in recreating all that anxiety and chaos. And obviously the whole cast was really strong, especially Joaquin Phoenix as the lead, as Joe Cross.
Right.
I liked that it seemed to critique like everyone, you know what I mean? Like all sides, like right, left, conservative, liberal, like everyone, because everyone, you know, had things that they were doing that were like, I guess you could say wrong, or like that could have been done better, that people could have gone about their actions in a better way. You know, like everyone, right? So yeah, I like that it was thought-provoking, and that I left the movie like thinking about it and like what Ari Aster was trying to say. Again, like I said, I thought that he was kind of critiquing everyone involved with all the 2020 stuff. So yeah, and the cinematography was really great. I felt that the setting of the town of Eddington, New Mexico was a character in itself. And also, Callie mentioned the score, and you know, I noticed that as well, that the score was really also noteworthy, and like it really added to the feel of what was going on and to the suspense and all the tension. So yeah, overall a really well done film. Thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up from Vivienne Golde on Eddington. Callie Cox.
Yeah, I pretty much co-sign everything Vivienne just said. I think it's extremely technically well executed. The cinematography did stand out to me as well. And like we're mentioning, the score, that in particular was like it's a whole other character and really helped to lead you through all of the very, very Ari Aster-esque tone shifts that happen throughout the film. And to sort of give you a heads up of like what the vibes are going to be, for lack of better term right now. But I also really appreciated all of the performances. Obviously the big names did a great job, but the standouts were actually in the younger, less known cast for me. Michael Ward had maybe my favorite performance in the whole thing. It is extremely challenging to sit through. No one is likable. which is also sort of, Vivienne, you kind of touched on this too, how it's really a critique of everyone. It's not, I don't think the movie lacks a point of view, but I do think it critiques everyone all around. No one escapes this movie being like, nah, that's so obviously the hero and the person you're supposed to root for, which is what makes it really interesting and what leaves you with something, I think. Where I love a movie where I get to just hate everyone. It's so fun. But anyway, it's a little bit of a challenge to sit through, but I think that's the point, and I think that's what makes it worth seeing. So anyway, thumbs up from me.
All right, so thumbs up from Callie Cox on Eddington. I gave it a thumbs up as well. Clearly, I thought this was Ari Aster's best film out of all the films he's done to this point. He weaves a story where he walks the thin line on a very controversial subject matter that we lived through in that time period. So also fantastic performances all around, especially from Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal, as they're at their throats throughout this entire film, but for good reason. One standing up for something and the other one standing for something else. So yeah, Ari Aster, fantastic film here in wide release. So go check that out for your viewing pleasure at your nearest movie theater. And check those showtimes as well. That's Eddington, rated R. All right, very good. Let's go, Vivienne Golde. Where can we catch you on social media?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Vivienne Von Foxy. I'll just type it in the chat because not everyone would know how to spell that. So
it's okay.
Here it is. It's right there. Yep, in the chat.
Yes, and please, guys, if you're watching this show on Instagram and you're seeing me like an all choppy, do you guys see me being all choppy or not really?
I don't.
You just see me choppy? All right, then it's my phone. I have to get a new phone. Rob has to get a new phone. It's time.
Oh, no.
I think it's dying on me. I have to get one of those new phones, so that's going to happen for the next
no.
Yes. I feel like I'm like in slow motion. I'm like, because I know it's not my Wi-Fi. It's my phone, so please forgive me if that comes across as that. All right, very good. So Vivienne Von Foxy is the Instagram handle. You can check her out there. Do you have any upcoming projects that we need to know about, Vivienne?
Yeah, it's the same one that I mentioned last time when I did the show in May. I'm doing this murder mystery dinner theater thing. It's called The Dinner Detective. They actually have locations all across the country in various cities. Not in all cities, in all states, I think, but in a lot of them. So it's not just here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's, I know they definitely have something in New York for sure. So also they do have a lot of Florida locations because I know Callie's in New York, right? Yeah. And Rob, you're in Florida now. So I'm not in those shows, right, in those locations. I'm in the one here in Arkansas. But it's a good, fun show for people to see, and also for actors like Callie, like maybe to join the cast if that's an interest of yours. So I have a show coming up this Saturday, a public show. So
very good.
Yeah.
You guys hook up. Figure it out.
It's usually like a few Saturdays a month, or a couple Saturdays a month, at least at this location.
Very good. Excellent. Vivienne Golde. All right, Callie Cox, where's your social media, and where can people catch you and your events coming up?
You can follow me on Instagram here at Callie J Cox. It's CalieJCox. This is a spelling bee now. If you are in the New York area, I'm part of a play festival with the Episcopal Actors Guild that started this weekend, but I will be performing next weekend, and then for a weekend in August, I'll have all that info on my Instagram page. So you can follow me and find it there.
All right, excellent. So we look forward to great things from both of you. Unfortunately for this show, Elizabeth Martin could not join us due to unforeseen circumstances, but she will join us in a show in the near future. Programming note, we are off next Sunday. Rob needs a little bit of relaxation time. I need to rest a little bit and get ready for the upcoming fall season. But we still have the whole month of August to tackle, so we shall return on Silver Screen Previews on August 3rd at 11:59 Eastern, 8:59 Pacific. That's been our new time for now a while. So we welcome you guys to join us then on August 3rd. And if you guys have never heard of the program before or first time checking in, tell your friends about it. It's Silver Screen Previews. We've been around for 5 years. We've been reviewing films since then, yes. I started out with hair, and now I've lost all my hair just pulling it out over all these reviews. So, yes, it happens.
What a journey. What a journey.
What a journey. Yes. Now I'm trying to regrow my hair to come back to like full circle. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Excellent. All right. So we thank you guys for joining us on Silver Screen Previews. So on behalf of Vivienne Golde and on behalf of Callie Cox, I'm Rob Martin, and we'll see you next time right back here on Silver Screen Previews. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks, y'all.
Good night. Thank you.